I'm sure we are all familiar with aquariums and their purpose to foster a strong connection between marine life and humans. But today I will be analyzing how captivity affects marine mammals. I will first introduce the background information, and then I will go over my connection to the stimulus, my research question, then I will present my position and the limitations and implications. Aquariums and marine parks have long been accepted as forms of entertainment with no attention to the trade-offs that are associated with the capture and confinement of these animals. Aquariums have branded themselves as agents for species preservation and public education. Brad Andrews, SeaWorld Chief Zoological Officer, claims that they rehabilitate stranded animals all the time and utilize them as ambassadors of their kind in the wild, therefore justifying the exploitation of these animals for shows and public viewing. Aquariums have created a false reality to continue to generate profit through these animals and using them for entertainment purposes. When you walk into an aquarium and see the animals jumping and flipping with music in the background, it can be deceiving and makes it hard to question the ethics of it all. Former trainer John Jett believes that most aquariums are just moneymakers and need to be more forthright with what goes on behind closed doors. He says that if we as a society say that it's okay, then I guess it's okay. I just wish we could stop hiding it under "this makes us a good citizens" approach. This leads into my stimulus connection. The overall theme I used to connect my articles is neglect. I first connected this topic to the Louise Cobell article as it involves neglection from the government, which was demonstrated in the laws that were implemented to safeguard animals in captivity, as they do not protect these animals due to the loose regulations that follow these laws. The other article I used was the Simone Biles article because it talks about how the cultivation of media in today's society makes it hard to confront the truth, as people don't look past what is portrayed in the media, which is primarily responsible for the public neglect of this issue. Aquariums continue to paint the picture that they are all for animal welfare, and captivity of animals is justifiable because it educates the public. While some of this may be true, it's also important to look at how aquariums affect marine mammals to further evaluate the ethics of this industry. After conducting my research, I found that aquariums negatively impact these animals and they should be taken out of captivity. Reasons. Aquariums make claims to being centered around caring for animals. However, they have a profit-driven nature that influences their decision-making regarding the care and treatment of these animals. In one specific example, Loro Parque, an aquarium in Spain, had orcas sent to them and their pools weren't ready, but the owner didn't want to lose revenue by shutting them down and repairing them, so he kept the orcas in this pool, and for 3 years they experienced health problems and suffered. Furthermore, Taiji, known for the mass slaughtering of dolphins each year, is the largest supplier of dolphins to marine parks and swim with dolphin programs around the world. If this industry really cared about the welfare of these animals, they would not be funding a dolphin slaughter just to get them these animals for their parks. Furthermore, environments in captivity are not suitable for orcas and dolphins due to their highly elaborate and emotional lives. A group of neuroscientists put an orca brain through a magnetic resonance imaging scanner and found that orcas have a sense of social bonding that is even stronger than that of a human. Their sense of self is distributed amongst their pod, and taking them away from their pod causes mental trauma for the animals. Furthermore, the anatomy of these animals makes them sensitive to microorganisms in the air. Lee claims that this is what causes captive dolphins to suffer from illnesses, especially respiratory diseases. As dolphin and orcas are very communicative through their echolocation, they are also sensitive to sound. At the National Aquarium in Baltimore, dolphins were dying left and right, and they finally figured out that it was because the filtration system was making too much noise. Marine mammals' suffering is further exacerbated by deficiencies in legal protection of these animals. Laws such as the Animal Welfare Act sets minimum standards for handling, care, and the treatment of a broad range of animals. The AWA's standards for whale and dolphin enclosures are very poor and only require that they be held in a pool that is protected from public viewing, sheltered from weather, and meets basic sanitation requirements. The requirement for food is that it is sufficient quantity and of nutritive value to maintain marine mammals in a state of good health. Furthermore, these laws have nothing in place to maintain the social bonds between the animals, such as mother and child, that are essential to these animals' lives. Laws have also failed to properly document violations, and when violations were detected, they only negotiated small financial penalties. The loose regulations of these laws is primarily due to the fact that they want to allow facilities to profit from displaying these animals while also ensuring the welfare. With that being said, marine mammals don't belong in captivity. And the next step is to discontinuation the holding of these animals in captivity. There are some limitations and implications that follow, such as removing marine mammals from captivity may undermine the educational values that aquariums provide. However, there is no direct evidence to suggest that these industries serve educational value that they claim to. And there are other opportunities for aquariums to educate the public, such as dolphin tours or whale boat rides, or the use of virtual reality technology for an educational simulation. Furthermore, rehabilitation efforts are flawed. Rehabilitation efforts are flawed and cannot help these animals who have long been held in captivity. The PTSD article made prevalent how life in captivity can alter an animal's response to predator-induced fear, therefore undermining their abilities to survive in the wild after life in captivity. An example of this is Orca Kiko, who was put through an intensive process to be reintroduced to the wild, but died just 17 months later. This is why, instead of putting these animals back into the wild, we should just have them remain in captivity and discontinue the capturing of other animals. While aquariums foster a special connection between the animals and the public, overall, the captivity and confinement of these animals is unethical and should be discontinued. Thank you, and here are my references.
All right, ready for your oral defense?
Yes.
Did your research go in a different direction than you originally expected?
Honestly, no, but as I kept conducting more research and gathering more information, it did open up my mind to different perspectives. Like, I wasn't aware of how laws could affect marine mammals, but it's clear that they have a great impact on these animals and their life in captivity.
Okay. And let's see. What additional questions emerged from your research, and why are these questions important?
An additional question that emerged from my research was, why are there so many gaps in the laws? And because it's important to ask this, because if we know what's making all these laws have loose regulation policies that affect these animals, then maybe instead of taking them out of captivity, we can find better solutions, like making and implementing better laws so we can improve the environment that these animals are kept in, and then maybe this wouldn't be as much of a problem.